Okay, hey guys, we are live on the Facebook group for the Reading and Writing Strategies group, and I'm live with Jen Saravallo right now, everybody. Thanks for being with us on this very snowy, blizzardy day in the East. Jen is in New Jersey, I'm in New Hampshire, and we're being inundated with snow right now, but it's a great time for a snow day for everybody to be going live and to be in the moment. So Jen's here with me now. We're going to actually take a minute here, and we're actually going to review the video about the course, which we'll be talking about and be taking your questions in just a second. So let me fire that up so to sort of remind everybody what we're here to talk about, and then we'll talk to Jen right after that. So bear with me as I pull this up real quick. And here we go.
In this course, you're going to learn all about ways to bring reading and writing strategies to life in your classroom. You're going to learn about a variety of different methods of instruction, from coaching conferences, research decide teach conferences, strategy lessons, read aloud, mini lesson, from the beginning, in the middle, and the end. So I'm going to You're going to learn how to find out what goal is going to be the right goal for your readers and your writers. This is just the beginning of our practice with this new goal, and the first strategy I've taught you today. And one trick I have for your conversation to help you do that is to try to ask each other questions.
What do you think kind of changed Scout the most within the story?
We can help even the youngest children to plan out what they want to write before they write it.
I want to do that.
Yeah, you want to do that? So this is your plan. Each one of these, all throughout the course, I'm going to be giving you some tips about how I keep these lessons tight and clear, and I use the strategies as the content to teach children how to grow as readers and grow as writers.
All right, and we are back. Jen's joining me now. Jen, of course, is the author of the Reading and Writing Strategies book. The Reading Strategies book being a New York Times best-selling book, and certainly a book you are all fans of, as well as the Writing Strategies book, which is coming up on its 1-year anniversary this month. I'm so excited about that. We'll probably do something special about the Writing Strategies book coming up soon, but that's not why we're here today. We're here today to talk to Jen about this new course, on-demand course with Heinemann called Strategies and Actions, Reading and Writing Methods and Content with Jen. So Jen, let's start with this. Tell us about the course and what we can expect.
Sure, yeah, so the digital campus courses are new as of what, Brett, maybe 3 years ago?
A few years, yeah.
They're a few years old. There's a nice library of different courses in there. I have a course already that's been up for a couple of years that's about teaching reading in small groups. And so this will be my second digital campus course. And for those of you who are new to the format of a digital campus course, it basically goes like this. It's an online self-guided course. This one has 8 sessions in it, and each session should take you about an hour of computer time, with additional time spent doing suggested readings or trying things out in your classroom in between the sessions. In this course, in the Reading and Writing Strategies course, I took a topic that goes together from the reading side and the writing side. So for example, I have one session that's about reading comprehension in fiction, and then also writing craft related to writing narratives. And then another session I have taken the print work and reading, so like decoding, monitoring for meaning, self-correcting, and connected it with spelling in writing. So I'm making these reading and writing connections within each session. The 8 sessions work together as a whole course. They build on each other from session to session, and they could also be taken standalone if you're just interested in one particular topic. Within each session, I've also decided to focus on a method of teaching. And my aim was to, across the whole course, show people the big picture of what comprehensive literacy instruction can look like. So you'll get, in one session, you might learn about conferences and strategy lessons. In another session, you might learn about read-alouds and mini lessons. In another session, interactive writing and shared reading. And so across the course, you're going to get a lot of content and also a lot of method. So it's really about bringing these strategies to life in the classroom, seeing these strategies in action. And I had a lot of fun filming tons and tons of videos. There's actually about 40 videos of me teaching kids in the classroom. kindergarten through 8th grade, a whole different range of grade levels. So it's about methods, it's about strategies, it's about making reading and writing connections. And in the actual course, you take it whenever you have time. I'm not live with you. So whenever you have time, you can sit down and you kind of work through it at your own pace.
And one of the cool things about that, Jen, that I love is you can take a session of it, go try something in the classroom, come back and take that learning and pick up where they left off, and even sort of think through it a little bit longer, as opposed to a webinar where it's all sort of happening in that moment. This is actually a great opportunity to sort of pause, go, and come back, right?
Yeah, and they're really, the activities within the course are really designed to help teachers take what they learn and have action. So at the end of each session, there's a part, what's it called? Read, do, teach, I think. Read, reflect, do, and teach. So there's suggestions for reading. Some of them you can download. Some of them are suggestions of other books that you might have, texts that you can read that go along with the topic that we're talking about, things that you can do that might be planning or studying assessments, and then ways that you could actually try some teaching in your classroom. And so, it's really, I hope people are doing this in webinars too, that they're taking what they learned and they're going back and trying it. It's really an important part of this course that you have some action in the classroom after you've taken a session, and you come back with that experience.
So, we talked a little bit about it there, just the difference between what it is from a webinar versus a course. Is there anything really we want to cover more about the differences between webinar and course?
Well, they're both online, right? So they're both, and a webinar is, while the intention is that people take the webinar live, they're also recorded, so you could also go back and watch it after the fact. So I think the online format is really helpful for a lot of people, because sometimes it's hard to get subs to cover you to go to a workshop for the whole day, or sometimes it's hard for you to have the funding to be able to do those kinds of off-site experiences. So both webinars and the course are both online. So that means you can take them. Some schools, there's a school in Colorado that's bought the Teaching Reading in Small Groups course for the district, and the teachers use their PLC time to take the course, and then they get together in collaborative groups and discuss. I know of teachers who, with my other course, have decided, this goes with my professional learning goal for the year, and then their principal has sponsored their taking of the course, and other people that are just really interested in it and take it on their own time. So lots of different ways, places when, or times when you could take it, and different versions of taking it with others or taking it alone. What else could I say? So a webinar, the format is really different too. The webinar, the webinar is kind of like this Zoom. We use the Zoom platform for a webinar. I'm on the whole time. I'm talking to you like you would hear me talk to you in a workshop. And usually there's a slideshow that you're seeing that's kind of going along with my webinar. A course is really different. In a course, imagine that in one session you have like 8 different slides or 8 different screens. And in each page, or each screen, you read a tiny bit, maybe like 2 minutes of reading, like you would read from a professional book. And then maybe you'll see a video of me teaching in the classroom. And then there's activities of something to do with the video. Or in the next page, maybe you'll have some student work examples, and I'll lead you through a series of questions of what to be looking for and what to try. And in each of those pages, you're going to be entering in your response. And then after you enter in the response, you'll get to see all the other comments from everyone else who's taken the course. So it's sort of like on Facebook, how you have the comment thread, and you'll see other people's responses who have also taken that same course. So in a webinar, we're live, and the chat box is sort of the interactive element while you're on. In a course, it's really on your own time, and there's much, much more video. So, in a webinar, in a 3-session webinar, I might show 3 5-minute videos. In this course, there are about 40 videos, and some of them are 10 minutes long, 15 minutes long, 5 minutes long. So you get a lot of peeks into the classroom and seeing me work with students.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of it. It's very, just to sort of steal the phrase, it's very Netflix style in terms of your PD.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And and plus it's also a great opportunity to continue to use the Facebook group as well, where if you're taking the course with some colleagues or even with people across the world or across the country, you can pop back into the Facebook group in addition to the comments, that happen within the course, and you can continue that learning within the Facebook group as you go session through session. So it's just another way you can kind of take advantage of the on-demand style of the course.
Mm-hmm.
So Jen, that in mind, how should we use the course?
Well, I think there's like different versions. I think that it could be great for an individual teacher who's interested in the topic and wants to do some more study. It could be that you can get credit for it. So for some people, it might be that they can get graduate credit for this course. So they may be seeking additional graduate credits. And maybe someone could pop in the comments a link to more information about the credit opportunities. So maybe for some people, that's something they're interested in doing. In other places, it might be that they want to do a professional learning group at their school, either a grade level group or the whole school is interested in engaging in this course together, kind of like a book study where instead of reading a chapter and then coming to talk about it, you could do a session and then come together and talk about it. So I think there's lots of different versions of how this might be helpful for people and how it might show up in schools and in districts.
I see there's an age range of students in the videos that you're working with in the course. Can I
Mm-hmm.
apply this work to any grade?
Yeah, absolutely. So the course has 8 sessions, and there's one session that's really focused on emergent reading and writing. So that one's pretty focused for younger students, but the remainder of the course is for really any grade, any age. There's a lot of opportunity throughout the course to dip into the reading and writing strategies books and really use them and get to know them well. That applies to every grade level. And the methods of teaching that I'm highlighting in the course, like a conference or a strategy lesson, those are structures of teaching that work across any level, really any content area as well, right? They work in reading, they work in writing, they work in math. You could do a strategy lesson in math. So you're learning methods of teaching that are going to work for everybody in every grade. Of course, you might see, for example, a strategy lesson with 4th graders, but whether you're a kindergarten teacher or an 8th grade teacher, looking at the teaching moves, the structure of the lesson itself, the pacing of the lesson, unpacking what you learn about students during that lesson, that really applies to everybody. So I really wanted to I purposefully I've shot videos in K through 8 classrooms to make it accessible to all.
Should I use either reading strategies book and writing strategies book while I'm taking the course?
Yes, definitely. You should use both. Both of those books are I want to say highly recommended. Throughout the course, I'm really asking people to go into the books and do stuff. So for example, in one session, you might watch a video of me assessing a student, asking a series of questions to try to find a goal. And then I'll ask you, based on what you just heard, what do you think the goal would be? And you'd respond in the chat box. And then my response would come up. And then I might ask you, so go into the chapter that corresponds to, let's say, plot and setting, understanding plot and setting, and find 3 strategies that would work for this student. And then again, you type in your response in the chat box, and then you'd see my suggestions with commentary of why. And so what I'm hoping is that it helps people feel really comfortable, help them use the book really efficiently, help them visualize how these strategies look when we're actually teaching real children, right? Not just on words on a page, but with actual students. So my hope is that this course feels like a way to interact with these books, really engage with these books, use them efficiently and effectively.
Now, what if I have not yet read either reading strategies book or the writing strategies book? Will I be okay to take the course?
Yes, absolutely. I think it'll help people. Aren't we offering some kind of discount, Brett?
We are. I'm sorry.
That's what I thought. If you don't
Yeah.
have the book yet, right? There's something. Yeah.
Yeah, the details are on the link that we have on the event, and we're passing around in the comments as well. But essentially, we're currently in this early sign-up stage now where there's a pre-order discount. So if you sign up and put your email in that link that we have up now, you'll be notified when the course is live and available, and that's when you can get the discount for the full session course. But also within that window of time, we're going to be offering a discount. Well, really anytime that you sign up, even if you don't do the pre-order for the sessions now, whenever you start to take the course, there's going to be a discount on both reading and writing strategies book. So if you don't have the book yet and you've been looking to get it, a great opportunity to get it in tandem with the course. And if you get one or you get the other or you get both, you can get a discount on the books as well at the same time. So you can take the book with you in tandem with the course.
I'm glad you're doing that, because I really want to make sure people have the book, because I think they'll get even more out of the course if they're really using the book along with it. So yeah, if the book is brand new to you and you feel like you really want some guidance digging in, this course would really help you do that. Also, if you've been using the book a while, I think you'll still find that there's a lot of helpful stuff in this course to help you deepen your practice and use the book even more efficiently. I was just recently with a district that bought the book for the whole district. They've had it for the reading book. They've had it for 2 years, and they asked me to come in, and I was a little nervous. I was like, gosh, what am I going to share with them? They've been using this book for 2 years, but I think they found that there was a lot of advice of kind of hacks and ways to use the book quickly, and seeing videos of me teaching really helped bring things to life for people. So there's a lot of that same kind of gestalt in this course as well.
Now, I'm seeing a question in the comments from somebody who's having trouble getting our Facebook Live video started. So I'm going to answer this question again, just in case they've joined us later. Heidi's asking, is this a full-length course? And just to sort of clarify again, there are 8 sessions. You can take individual sessions, or you can take the full course. And since we were talking about pricing just a second ago, let me just quickly mention that the full-length course runs about $199, and then the single sessions, the individual sessions, you get them individually, again on demand. You can get those for $29.99. If you sign up early, you can get the 30% off discount on the full session course. And at any time, be it for the single session or the full session course, you can also get the discount on the books themselves, on both Reading Strategies book and Writing Strategies book. All of that information is detailed on the link that we have up for the event for this Facebook Live. We've also got it on the Heinemann Facebook page, on the Heinemann website. We're tweeting about it. We're Facebooking about it. We've got folks posting it on the comments. We've got tons of information posted there. I encourage you to check it out, read it all over very thoroughly. And you know what, if it doesn't answer your questions, let me know. Email into Heinemann, and our amazing team will help you out, figure something out, think of something that's just right for you if we haven't quite answered the question. One question that does come up that I also want to cover while we're talking about this, Jen touched upon this earlier, is what kind of credit can I get for the course? We've also got a link outlining our FAQs about the credit. We are actually offering some college credit this time around for this course. The details of it are all outlined within that, so I do encourage you to look for that. It is, I believe, graduate credit. There's some details around that, so you'll want to definitely read into that and see how that can benefit you. So Jen, if I've already taken a webinar with you, or I've been to one of your offsite workshops, will the information be repetitive, or will it be different? Will it be new? What can I expect from the details of what's in the course?
Sure. Yeah. So this course is not just my webinar recycled into a new format. It really is a lot of new content. So for example, if we're comparing a webinar, so I do a 3-part webinar series. I did it in the fall. I'm doing another one in the spring. In those 3 webinars, I cover about an hour, right? An hour each is like 3 hours. And I show maybe 1 video in each of those 3 hours, compared to this course, which is 8 hours plus additional time for reading and practice, 40 videos, each ranging from 5 to 20 minutes. So it's a lot more information, a lot more content. The organization is very different too. So I mentioned earlier, for those of you who are just joining, the way that I structured this course, each session looks at a reading and a writing corresponding goal. So I'm looking at print and spelling. I'm looking at engagement and reading, engagement and writing, and putting them together. Comprehension, reading fiction, and writing narrative, writing story, and then put them together. So what I'm hoping people get from this course, in addition to seeing these strategies come to life, is that they're understanding how to make those reading and writing connections. And I haven't gone deeply into that in my one-day workshop that I do around the country through Heinemann, or in the webinar that I do for Heinemann. So I think you'll find that that's new. Just the sheer hours, right? It's a lot more content. And I also am covering ground that I haven't presented on in a while. So mini lessons, read alouds, book clubs, partnerships. There's a much broader scope of the methods of teaching. So there is a little bit of common ground. Like I talk about what a strategy is, got to kind of foundational stuff. I talk about the hierarchy of goals for reading and writing. I do that in my online, my webinar, in my online course, and also on my in-person workshops. But I think people who have seen me do other things will find that there's a lot of new content, and maybe the stuff that's a little bit familiar ground, it'll feel good to have a refresher. You can nod along during that part and be like, okay, good, I know this, confirms what you already know. So I think there's plenty of new information. So if you've liked my webinar, you've liked my in-person workshop, this might be helpful for you.
And we actually have a question. You did touch upon this towards the beginning of our chat about this is a different course from your other Heinemann On Demand course as well. Can you just touch upon just remind people what the other course is and what it's about?
Sure. So my other digital campus course, which I wrote, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, is titled Teaching Reading in Small Groups. And that one is only about reading. And that course, I talk about assessment, I talk about some conferences and small group instruction, and it's only reading. This one, the Strategies in Action digital campus course, is reading and writing. It's really 50-50. I've given exact equal time to both, making connections between reading and writing, and expanding the scope outside of just conferences, although there are videos of me teaching in conferences and small groups in this course as well. The scope is much broader. There's lots of whole class instruction and other sorts of small group instruction that you won't see in the other course. All of the videos are unique. So even if it's the same method, like say a Research Decide Teach conference in the Teaching Reading in Small Groups course, I also have Research Decide Teach conferences in this course, but it's a different video with a different age student. It might be writing instead of reading. So it's a lot of new content. So yes, if you've taken that course and you like the format or you found it helpful, this would definitely be new content, new information for you.
Coming back to the Reading and Writing Strategies books and this new course, we've got a question from the group. Does the course primarily focus on students who are on level or those who need intervention?
It's a mix. It's a complete mix. So I filmed, I don't know if I'm allowed to disclose where I filmed. I'll say I filmed in Title I schools with a very diverse population of students. This one particular school district I love visiting in central New Jersey, where almost all the kids are students of color. There's a lot of languages spoken in the school, a wide range of learners at the school. So I filmed in those schools. I filmed at a middle school that I would consider to be like an upper middle class or upper class community in Connecticut. So there's a real diversity of kids that you're going to see on screen. And I will say that I'm thinking of one video with in kindergarten where I'm showing interactive writing, and there's a kid like on the rug rolling. We didn't edit that out. They're all like very, very real. So no matter what you see, I think you're going to be feeling like, yep, I know that kid, or yep, yeah, I've got one like that in my class. I think you'll be able to relate.
Oh yeah.
People say that a lot when they show my videos and workshops. They're like, thank you for being real. Thank you for not editing out the kid that's, picking his nose in the back or whatever.
Yeah, I've been sitting with the video team as they go through this. This is real as real can get. Well, that's great, Jen. Well, thank you. I think we've covered, I'm just going to quickly scan the questions here. I think we've covered all the questions that we've been asked so far. Is there anything else you wanted to cover for folks that maybe, you've seen that maybe this is just a great opportunity to get the word out about?
There's nothing else I can think of right now, except that I would maybe suggest that you give it a try. Like Brett said before, you could try one session to see if it's for you. And then if you like the format, you could just sort of upgrade to the full course if you're interested in the other topics. I think that one of the things that I find people asking about a lot is just like what to expect, what's the format. If you've never taken an online course before, I think that sometimes online courses have a reputation of being kind of dry, or that the user's experience is kind of passive. And I want to assure you that this is anything but. It's designed to be very interactive, lots of opportunities for reflection and planning, and for bring things back to your own classroom right away. And I think the videos of me working with students really lends a certain life to it that I think a lot of online courses that are not so exciting don't have. So I think that if you've heard negative things about online courses in the past, I think you'll find that this is not what you've heard about. The format is very friendly. It's very easy to take. Even if you're not super tech savvy, it's not intimidating at all. In fact, I remember when we first launched the Teaching Reading in Small Groups digital campus. And after the first year, the team at Heinemann reported that there were no tech glitches at all. So I think it's very easy to take and easy. If you can figure out Facebook, and you're all here on Facebook, right? If you figure out Facebook, you'll be okay with this course. So I would say don't be intimidated and give it a try.
Well, and I think the other cool thing, and is really worth mentioning here, Jen, is it's a credit to you because you are so accessible in terms of Facebook and Twitter. You're here in the group. You're always doing Facebook Lives. People know that if they ask a question in the group, they're going to sometimes get a response from you. We've got almost 30,000 members now in this group, which is incredible to think of. So I think as they're going along in the course, there's team members from Heinemann that will be able to help them out along as well. But
Absolutely.
You're there. They can tweet you. They can pop a question here in the Facebook group, and they might actually get a response from you while they're taking the course, which is so cool.
Oh, same with you and Jacqueline and Elizabeth and Mim and everyone who's behind the scenes at Heinemann. You guys are so amazing at being responsive and helping people whenever they need it. And yes, I do get sometimes questions from the course passed along. Even though I'm not live in the course, people that are monitoring the responses in the course will sometimes send things to me and ask me to respond, and I'll pop in and answer a question, or I'll respond to them and they'll insert the answer. So I do like to try to be accessible and help out when I can. So that's possible too.
Great. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything we wanted to cover about this new course. Again, the course is called Strategies in Action, Reading and Writing Methods and Content. You can learn more via the Heinemann website. We've got the link up. We've got the link in the comments. The link is everywhere. If you can't find it, just tag me and I'll share the link with you. But we've tweeted it out. It's on Facebook. It's everywhere else. Jen, thank you so much for going live with us on this very snowy day.
Oh, I'm so glad that we didn't lose power or internet. We were able to do it.
We saved power. We kept the internet. We saved the world. It's great. Well, thanks everybody. Jen and I are going to sign off now. But if you've got any other questions, pop them in the comments, and myself or someone from the Heinemann team, or even Jen herself, will get in there and answer the questions as they go along. But for now, enjoy the rest of your snow-filled day on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, we're very jealous of you. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Stay warm, everybody. Bye.